Lesson 11. Human Capital. All present and future workforce participants who need to develop to their full potential for the benefit of everyone. Employees are valuable assets, not just expenses to organizations. Companies invest in human capital. Human capital. Properties and individuals' knowledge and skills that are derived from education, training, and experience. Human capital management. Measuring the cause and effect relationship of various HR programs and policies on the bottom line of the firm. Obtain additional information, additional productivity from workers requires a change of philosophy for organizations. HCM decisions must be tailored to fit organization's culture. Job analysis. Determine by observation and analysis the basic elements of a job. Job description. Description of what the holder of the job does and why. Job specification. Summary of the minimum qualifications a person must have to do a job successfully. Illegal for an employer to discriminate by race, color, sex, religion, national origin. Exemptions from this are bona fide occupational qualification, BFOQ, business necessity, job relatedness, and bona fide security, merit system. Not covered by Title VII, illegal aliens, Communist Party members, or sexual orientation. Other federal laws prohibiting job discrimination are Equal Pay Act of 1963, EPA protects men and women who perform substantially equal work in the same establishment for same sex-based wage discrimination. Age Discrimination and Employment Act of 1967, ADEA protects individuals who are 40 years of age or older. Pregnancy Discrimination Act of 1978 prohibits discrimination in employment based on pregnancy, childbirth, and related medical conditions. Title I and Title V of the Americans with Disabilities Act of 1990, ADA, prohibit employment discrimination against qualified individuals with disabilities in the private sector and in state and local governments. Sexual harassment. Unwelcome sexual advances, requests and sexual favors, and other verbal or physical conduct of a sexual nature when submission to such conduct is made either explicitly or implicitly a term or condition of the individual's employment. Submission to or rejection of such conduct by an individual is used as a basis of employment decision affecting such individuals, or subject conduct has the purpose or effect of unreasonably interfering with an individual's work performance or creating an intimidating, hostile, or offensive work environment. The EEO description has become the standard definition. Not technically law, yet courts treat these guidelines as the foundation of defining what constitutes sexual harassment. Sexual harassment continued. The focus is on effect, not intent. In making a sexual harassment determination, the intent of one's behavior is largely irrelevant. It does not matter if it's deliberate or unconscious, based on perceptions or receiver harassment, based on the perceptions of the receiver's harassment. I'm sorry, I don't have my glasses on. Ignorance is not a valid legal defense. An employer is considered guilty of sexual harassment when the employer knew or should have known about the unlawful conduct and failed to remedy or take corrective action. The employer allows employees, customers, and salespeople to sexually harass employees. Recruiting human resources. What is recruiting? Attracting a sufficient number of qualified persons on a timely basis to apply to a job that is open. What are forms of recruiting? Internal recruiting, considering present employees as candidates. External recruiting, attracting persons outside the organizations to apply for jobs. Internal, HR planning, promotion policies, firm knowledge of employees, and nepotism. External, labor market conditions, legal considerations, corporate image. Internal, job posting, procedure to inform employees that job postings exist, job bidding, permit individuals in an organization who believe they possess required qualifications to apply for a job. External, employer referrals, college recruiters and executive search firms, realistic job previews. Candidates are given both positive and negative features of the job and organization before being hired. The employment interview. Goal-oriented conversation in which the interviewer and applicant exchange information. Interviews are the most common selection tool. Preliminary interviews removes obvious unqualified individuals. Job fairs, telephone interviews, videotaped interviews, computer interviews. Unstructured. Ask probing, open-ended questions, often time-consuming, potential legal woes, encourages applicant to do much of the talking. Structured, directive or pattern. Situational questions, job knowledge questions, job sample simulation questions, work requirement questions. Behavioral interview. Subject interviews. Interview where applicants relate actual relevant past incidents to target job. Behavioral questions, job relevant. Evaluating candidates. Rating scale helpful. Broad application but potential problem. Job seekers have gotten wise to this process. 3 types of selection tools continued. Employment selection test. Legally considered to be consistent or consist of any procedure used in the employment selection decision process. Example, pencil and paper tests, ability tests, performance tests. Advantages. Reliable and accurate. Identify attitudes and job-related skills. Potential problems. Legal liabilities, test anxiety. Potential design selection tests. Standardization. Uniformity in procedures. Continue administering tests. Objectivity. Everyone score a test obtains the same results. Norms. Frame and reference for comparing the applicant's performance for what others. Reliability provides consistent results. Validity measures what is supposed to be measured. Requirement of job relatedness must work with having adverse impact on minorities, females, individuals with background and characteristics protected. 11B.